congratulations on the film.
Thanks.
No bullshit. I think it was one of the best films I've seen this year.
Oh, that's really good of you to say.
There were so many touching scenes in the movie. What was the most difficult for you to film?
You know, I really feel like there wasn't a whole lot of difficulty through this because we filmed in the good locations, the right locations. It didn't feel like a performance ever. And also with Scott, the way he works, you don't aim for something, you see what happens. And each take can be radically different. And as long as there's a truth in each of it, then that's absolutely fine. And when you're dealing with it that way, things happen and they surprise you the way they do in life.
Right.
And that makes it actually feel incredibly easy, but very bloody satisfying as well.
Going into shooting, was there one scene that you were specifically excited for or even emotionally more attached to than others?
No, you know, I feel more just the entire relationships that he has with people and just the notion of a man who's a decent man doing the right thing, but regardless, his life ends up being utter crap. And what do you do in those moments? You know, do you lose your moral compass? And for him, you know, he descends, you see a decent man descending into retribution and violence, but for absolutely understandable reasons.
Mm-hmm. When you first read the script and you were going into production, is there one scene that you were really excited for or more emotionally attached to than others?
I don't know. I mean, I had an experience where, like, I read it, I thought, phenomenal script.
Right.
I mean, he really is a first-rate writer as well as director, but I couldn't, part of me wasn't sure about playing this part because he's so detestable. And, you know, my wife read it and said, don't do it. And she's almost never done that.
Right.
You know, well, sometimes she's done it, but, like, in this case, she was pretty adamant, and I had to kind of resist that. After I had a conversation with him about it, you know, I decided I got to be a part of this, you know. And I'm glad we did it. It's because I think the movie's phenomenal.
It is. It's amazing. What changed your mind?
I talked to
Good
Scott.
question.
And he
You
made
believe
you?
me? You talk to this guy, he could talk the skin off a snake. I mean, he is really.
It really just comes from
you of anything.
It comes from passion, and really, I think I was very sincere in saying that Woody is an actor that I've long admired and desperately wanted to work with, and I really, honestly, wasn't quite sure I could make the film if I didn't have him in this part, because I'd never seen him play this, and the producers don't want to hear that because there's a lot of money that's already been spent, and then when he tells you, I don't think I can quite do this the first time because I love the script, it's incredible, but you have to remember he has to live with this character for 2 years or 2 months, and you say to yourself, well, how can I convince him? And you can only do that through sincerity. And I hope that I was able to do that in a very genuine way without being selfish to say, this is, I think, something that hopefully will stand the test of time and that will move people and engage them and perhaps provoke conversation well after they leave the theater.
Right. Well, I understand that. Woody's a badass. Gotta
Right.
have him, right?
A lot of people could have done it, but I'm glad it was me.
Me too. One of the themes in this movie is revenge. Obviously, he does get revenge for
Yes.
his brother's death. What's your take on revenge?
Well, you know, it's a very interesting thing. It's a question of, is it justifiable revenge? You know, can revenge ever be something that can actually be honorable? And to me, Russell brings revenge as close to being honorable as any character I've ever seen before.
Last question. Going into awards season, how are you feeling about this film and your performance?
Look, you just have to love the film that you make, you know? Acting, filmmaking is not like a 100-meter dash, you know, where somebody crosses the line first. It's all about opinion, you know? And also, you hope for longevity as well. You hope that in years to come, that I can look at this film in 10 years' time and still say, I loved that film. That's the ultimate reward.
One thing that did hit me about the movie, and like you said, had me talking after I had seen it, was the idea of life-changing moments. One moment can change your entire life.
Yes.
What are some moments you guys have had that impact on you?
It's a really good question. I think probably at a very young age, the loss of a sister. And when you see that and how it affects your family and how it affects you, and those are things you never forget.
Woody?
Well, I was just thinking, you know, before my first child, Denny, was born, everybody said, you know, it'll change your life. And I thought to myself, well, it probably won't change my life that much. But boy, did it really. It just changed my life, you know,
Yeah.
from the
That's
time she
beautiful.
was born.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Well, last quick question. We're going into awards season. How are you guys feeling about the film? I'm rooting for you.
Well, thank you. Stanley Kubrick or Alfred Hitchcock never won Oscars.
It's true.
Is that right?
That's right.
Wow.
You feeling
Didn't
good
know
though?
that.
You think you're gonna maybe get nominated?
I mean,
You
yeah,
don't care?
thinking about that shit is ridiculous. No point in ever thinking about it, period.
Truly, I mean, when I set out to make Crazy Heart, the last thing you ever expect is to win Oscars. I don't even know what that meant because I was making a very personal story. And this is an even more personal story. And there are much less risky ways to get to the Dolby Theater than making a film like Out of the Furnace.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
It was an
you.
amazing movie.